This video is going to provide a basic overview of PolicyMap, which is a GIS program, which stands for Geographic Information System. Basically, it's going to allow us to visualize our data in map form, but it's also going to allow us to do some other things with our data, including question and analyze, interpret and understand relationships and patterns, and present information spatially and geographically so we can take a look at our data in a different way. To start using PolicyMap, there are many features that are available, including the mapping feature, which we're going to talk about here in a second, producing tables, generating reports, producing 3-layer maps, and loading your own data from outside sources. Be sure to access PolicyMap through the Trinity Library website to take advantage of all of the features PolicyMap provides. You can also create an account within PolicyMap, which is different from your Trinity login credentials. So if you haven't, you'll probably want to create an account in order to save your information, data, regions, or if you want to come back to any of the information later that you've saved. Let's take a look at using maps with data provided by PolicyMap. You'll see up here in the gray region that you've got different categories, including demographics, income and spending, housing, lending, and so on. And within each of these categories, you have data that's going to be available to you. A variety of options are available. If you hover over each one of these categories, sometimes there are subcategories that are available, and sometimes there are subcategories that are available. So just simply hovering over will give you an opportunity to see all of the data pieces that are available. You can click on each one of these areas to see all of the data that's available. Each category has two types of data. We have data layers and data points. Data layers is going to provide data that is going to produce basically a heat map or a map with lots of different colors on it so you can see the different ranges. Data points are actually specific addresses that will get mapped on top of this. So if you were doing grocery retail locations, you're going to be able to see actual points of grocery retail locations, their actual address or geolocation data that's in this program. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's try to do a map with a data layer. I'm going to start by picking out age, and let's take a look at the older population of age 65 or older. And as quickly as that, just clicking on one button, you've taken the entire data set for the entire nation and mapped out county by county the percent population of 65 and older in the United States. This box over here on the left-hand side that says data layers will give you all of the detailed information of the data that's provided and allow you to make some changes if you want. So it'll tell you what data is being mapped, and it'll also tell you the source of the data. So the data is coming from a variety of sources. Most of the population data is coming from the census. Also, some of the health information comes from the CDC. Housing information will be coming from like HUD, and a variety of different government agencies provide some of the other data. So you can see that the year ranges from 2012 to 2016 for this type of data. There's also back data that you can take a look at on this particular map as well. Variables will allow you to map out numbers, percent, or percent changes, and it'll tell you what it's shaded by. Currently, we're looking at county data. A lot of the population data will give you opportunity to dig down even deeper if you want. There's city data, congressional district data, and state data, as well as a variety of other options that for this particular data set aren't available, but sometimes you can dig down as deep as subdivision or census tract. You'll also see the data ranges, and the data ranges are scientifically calibrated, so you probably won't want to fiddle with these too much, but if you're working on an advanced project where you need different data ranges or something more specific, you can actually click on it and it will allow you to manually go in here and make changes. You can also change how many data ranges are being produced on the map. But like I said, most of the time, the data ranges that are provided for you are going to be significant, and you shouldn't have to play with those at all. All right, let's go ahead and map something else on here. Now with basic general maps, you can only do one data layer at a time. Later on in a different lesson, we're going to talk about doing 3-layer maps where you can actually map up to 3 layers on top of each other. But the basic general map only allows you to do 1 data layer or 1 heat map, but you can map different data points on top of this. So let's take a look at some health data and come up with nursing facilities. So we'll look at nursing facilities in the aging population of 65 and over. All right, that's a lot of information, and there's not a lot you can really get from this except that there are a lot of nursing facilities on this side of the United States. So here's a good opportunity for us to dig down and really look at maybe a region or a particular area or city. So if you want to zoom in on this map, it's just like any other mapping program like Google Maps. You can go ahead and zoom in and drag around to find a region. So I'm going to drag down here to center San Antonio, and then I'm going to actually zoom in a little more deeply so you can see a little more detail about what's going on here. Let's go one more time. Okay, so now we've got some real specific data going on here. So what you can do when you're looking at this data is just like, oh, well, there's lots of pretty colors and some data points here. But you can actually click on these data points and it will give you specific detail about the particular facility that's listed here. It'll give you the name, address, and if there's other information available for it. When you click on these data points, you can also have options to see a radius report or download the data. We'll talk about radius reports in another video. If you would like to take a look at a particular heat map region, you can click on those as well, and it'll give you much more specific data. It'll give you comparison data with the United States, Texas, and surrounding areas, as well as give you options to take a look at this data in table, get a report, download the data, or see a list of nursing facilities actually within this particular region. If you'd like to print, download, share, save, or view previously saved works, you can use these icons up here in the right-hand corner. I'm going to talk about how to print. When you click on print, basically you're given an option to export this data in PDF or as an image. You can zoom in the region that you would like to focus in, and whatever you see on this page is actually going to be what gets saved. So if you are looking at a very specific region, you might want to zoom in. If you want a nationwide look, you'd want to zoom out. You also have different options. You can include the title or exclude it. You can include the legends that are up here, or you can move them out of the way. You also have more options to add print margins and things like that. Once you're ready to save your document, you click on export and it will export it so you can download it to your computer. Be patient. Sometimes it takes a while because sometimes there's a lot of data in here, but it will generate the report for you to use in your own document or paper. Okay, and the last thing I want to say is if you want to start over or you want to get rid of a data source, to get rid of one of these data sources or data layers, you just simply hover over this X and click it, and it'll remove that particular data point or data piece out of the map. But if you want to start all over again, you can simply go to Reset Map, and it'll reset all of the information, and you can start from scratch.